Oh, are we on the air? Stay tuned to the end for bonus footage.
Hey gang, it's Bryan from FXBilliards. Today we are going to talk about wired shots. These are the shots that look really simple. Two balls are connected, they're facing the pocket. You just know that they're going to go in. I'm going to show you how to expand your creativity when it comes to these shots. Also, a couple shots that you might not have known before or have been on your table and you didn't recognize they were there. First thing about wired shots is you can cheat a wired shot. For example, we have two balls here that are going straight down the line. So we know that if we hit this in the rear, it's going to come straight down, go over that spot. But one of the things I want you guys to understand that if we hit a wired shot on the left-hand side or the right-hand side, we can actually throw this object ball to the opposite side. So for example, if we hit our 10 ball on this side, our 1 ball is actually going to drift to the left-hand side and vice versa. Now this is important because it allows you to do things with these balls that you might not normally think about doing. So here we have an example where the 11 is not quite lined up with this pocket, but if we're playing the 11 off to 2 for some reason, we can hit on the left-hand side and watch it drift over. Just how much we cheated it. I mean, we hit the rail all the way down here. So you can alter the path of these balls by hitting it on the left or the right, and that's first lesson that you need to know about wired shots. The next thing you need to know about wired shots is where, number one, your cue ball is going to be after the shot, where your object ball is headed. Obviously, we want to play the 9 in that corner, but where is the original object ball going to end up? Now, if you're playing 9 ball and you have a setup like this, you play it in. It doesn't matter if the 6 is headed over towards that pocket or not. You'll just stun the cue ball and everything will go on this very way. But what if you're playing 8 ball and you have the 6 and the 5 there and you're playing a combination to play the 5 in that corner and the 8 ball is sitting near that pocket? You might not want to shoot the shot, or at least you won't want to shoot it the same way. So keep in mind, you need to understand where your cue ball is going to be and where each of the object balls are going to be. Let's look at the next shot. So gang, let me ask you a question. How many times watching my videos have you seen me come off of 3 rails to get position or to make a ball? Probably dozens of times. And the reason is it's so important, especially in games like 9 ball where the table is spread out, to be able to go off of multiple rails. But if you're not dialed into where you're supposed to strike that ball, we're not going to get into the math today, but I want to tell you about one important shot, and that is going from this pocket to this pocket, or vice versa. The reason this is so important is because when you understand the dynamics of this shot, it opens up an entire world for you. Let me explain. Here we have a situation where the 1 and the 2 are tied up. Let's say we're playing 8 ball and our 8 ball, it could be there. It doesn't matter. If we can get the 1 or the 2 in the pocket, we're probably going to be out. But how do we make the shot? The 10 ball is blocking our route. So we can't play the 1 here, but to get around the table and end up at this pocket, what we do is we shoot off of this second diamond. And then that second diamond sends us to the first diamond, which sends us to this diamond here, which sends us to the pocket. So knowing that, we have an express from here to that diamond. Well, if we get to that diamond, we get to the 1 ball. And if we get to the 1 ball, we make the 2 ball, and we're out. If we don't make a shot, our opponent's going to be out. He's got 2 balls sitting in the pocket. So let's look at this shot. I come off the same diamond as if I wanted to go around the table. I make contact with the 2 ball. Now, I'm going to have to make a hero's bank here. But we have a situation where I normally might not have been out, but because I was able to find that shot, I'm able to continue to shoot, and that's the most important thing. If you're not confident with that bank shot, you might have played a safety, but I'm not sure where you're going to leave your opponent. So I played pretty aggressively. I shot it. Let's look at another shot. Keeping in mind how important position is. When you have wired balls sitting on a rail like this, you need to have a good understanding of what's going to happen to the cue ball, what's going to happen to the second object ball, the one that we're making contact with. We know that if we hit this solid, we're going to make the 5 ball there. It's going to take a little drift out to the left, to the right-hand side, because it is against a cushion, and anything that's coming off a cushion is going to start to drift on us immediately, whether we notice it or not. But how do we get on the 1? There's a couple different things you could do. Now, let's talk about what not to do first. The first thing you don't want to do is to just make contact with the 1, and I'll show you why. If we just play to hit it, what we've done here by shooting that shot is by hitting it here, we have thrown our object ball off its path. So we're not getting that straight shot down the road as if we hit it in the back. Remember lesson number 1, where we talked about how the balls are going to drift. This is a very short distance, so we know that hitting the 1 ball full is going to throw our 5 ball into the rail and then push it away from the pocket. So we don't want to do that. But what if we hit it right behind the 1? Now we've made our ball, but how many hero banks do we want to shoot in any one game? So here's a good thing for you to keep in mind when playing position on these shots. Because it's so beneficial to you to hit this ball back here as opposed to, number 1, hitting it solid or anywhere else, keep in mind that we need shots that are going to allow us to hit it back here and get us position on that next ball as well. One of the ways to do that is to hit this with high right-hand spin. It will barely affect the 5 ball at all. But what it will do is take our cue ball off of 2 rails, bring us around, and make sure we still have position on that 1 ball. So as it comes around, the 1 ball should be not right there where it is, but pretty close to that same spot. So the shot looks like this. Our cue ball comes around, and now we have a shot at the 1. So keep that in mind. Anytime you can hit these in the back, it's going to give you a much better sense of where your second object ball is going to be and where your cue ball can go based on how you hit it. You can shoot that same shot with draw, but it's a lot less predictable. If you hit that ball in that cushion and you hit it with draw, you're probably going to end up with some kind of lateral shot that you might need to bank. But if you use English and come off the rail, that was high right-hand spin, you use English and come off the rail, then you're going to be good. Let's look at another shot. Fun fact about wired shots. They can also be used for bank shots. Now we know that these balls are frozen and the 5 ball head's right here. We can throw that 5 ball towards this pocket by hitting the left-hand side of that 1 ball. But we have to keep some other factors in mind. Not only is the 5 going to go across table, but the 1, because of where we're hitting it, is going to head in this direction. If we don't get the 1 ball out of the way, the 5 will come across and make contact with it. The other thing you have to keep in mind is where your cue ball is going to be. It's going to be at that end of the table. And we're not just shooting 1 shot. We're never shooting 1 shot. We need to get out. Sometimes it's going to take a hero shot. Sometimes we should have an easy run out. But we're in a situation here where if we don't get out, our opponent's going to get out. So we need to be a little bit more aggressive. And that's what we're going to do. So we call the 5 ball here. Get our 1 ball out of the way and stun it a little bit so that our cue ball is in a manageable position. Now, we can simply play the 1 and get position on the 8. We don't always get to pick our outside pocket. That was not as easy as it could have been, but keep in mind, we don't know exactly where these balls are going to end up. There's a lot of things that are going on with them. But we know that we get to keep shooting because we were on that 5 ball and the 5 ball went in the pocket. At that point, if you're not aggressive enough to play that 1 to the 8 shot that I did or the bank shot on the 8, you play a safety. But we really did not have a safety before, unless we, somehow left our opponent maybe there and then he could shoot the same bank shot I shot. So just something to keep in mind when you're looking at these shots. Let's look at something else. Okay, gang, here the game could be 8 ball or it could be 9 ball, but we are in a situation where we're on the 1 ball. The 4 and the 5 are wired up for that pocket, but the 9 is in the way. Now, if you think directly, we could come off of this rail and try to make it. Chances are, because we're coming in from the opposite direction, we will not see that 5 ball in the pocket. We want to be coming from this direction. But we have an opportunity to get there by using the 1 ball to get us there. Now, you could have a situation where that's your shot, and maybe you're playing 9 ball and that's the 9, and you could use the 1 ball to hit that cluster and play the ball in that pocket. You're not going to get these exact situations. The point here is I want you to be able to expand your creativity when these things happen at the table, because you make shots like this, you're going to be at least 10% better than you were the day before if you weren't going to see this shot, maybe 20 or 30% better. And you only need to improve a small amount to beat the people that you're losing to right now. If you're in APA 4 and you're losing to APA 5s by 1 game or just a couple innings, 1 shot like this is the difference in you winning, maybe moving up, and losing a game. Not only that, you guys have heard me say it before, it breaks your opponent's spirit to see these shots executed. And that sometimes is all you need. We don't like to break spirits except when we're gambling or playing for something or not playing for anything. Anyway, we like to break spirits when we're competing. So a shot like this, what you could do is bank the 1 into the cluster. You don't always have to bank balls into pockets. Sometimes you want to hit a cluster and make a shot that way. And from there, it's a very good chance, it's not automatic, it's a very good chance you're going to be out. So let's see what the shot looks like if we bank the 1 into the 4. This is not a true bank. I'm going to put a little bit of right on this. And we are out. Got a little help from the other object ball as well. And we play this shot. And I think everybody's going to make that 8 in the side. But you see the point here. Because of the angle we came in with the 1, the object ball that was the front runner was thrown a little bit off and didn't quite get to the pocket. But we never know exactly on a shot like that truly where we're going to hit that ball. Even off of our 2-rail kick shot, we could end up on one side or the other of that ball. What we are doing here is giving ourselves a chance to win when normally we would not have a way to do it. Another thing I want to reiterate about these shots, especially when the ball is on the rail, that there are certain things you can and cannot get away with. If these balls are sitting here and I'm shooting from that direction to play the 4 in this corner pocket, you have a very good chance of making it no matter what you do. You've got a relatively short distance, you've got some forgiving corner pockets, you can get away with a lot. But if we're going this way, we cannot hit this 4 ball on this side and expect to make that 2. And the reason we can't do that is because the 2 ball from this direction, remember, is being pushed into the rail as we discussed in the earlier shot. and it's going to, in effect, come off the rail. So if we want to make a shot like this, and we have this kind of distance, we are going to have to play that ball, hitting it solid behind the four. I'm hitting the ball in the cushion, and just let it run down the rail. It's still going to try to drift away a little bit, but we can hit the pro side of that pocket and get there. So if you have a distance to follow on those balls, if it's a long distance, keep in mind that it's going to be thrown and you're going to have to make an adjustment for that or pass on the shot altogether. Okay, gang, one more for the road. And for those of you who are interested, I am playing with my brand new Predator Icon 4. This is the Icon 4 3. I'm playing with a Predator 314 shaft, 3rd generation, and a victory tip. And speaking of breaking spirits, imagine your opponent's face when he sees this shot. Have a great day. Hit us in the comments. Give us a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, you're killing me. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the little bell too so you get notified when we have a new video. And stay tuned probably for outtakes. And I hope you guys enjoyed this. And it would have been great if that cue ball didn't scratch, wouldn't it be? Okay, I'm going to get this right this time. I promise. Okay, gang. Here's a shot. Take us out with this. And hit me in the comments. Let me know what you think. Of course, give us a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe. And you got to hit the balls. Okay, gang, for those of you who are interested, I am playing with a Predator Icon. Let me check and make sure I have film. Film. What decade is it?